we discussed about the try catch. So I told you already that uh, this try catch always comes in pair. Okay. So what is the purpose of the try? So any block, okay, any block of code that you want to check for exception will always needs to be included in the try try block. Okay, it always needs to be included in the try block. And catch is the exception handler. Okay, it is the catch handler. It will handle the exception that is being detected in the try block. Okay, and it will give us some message maybe. Okay, so try catch always appears in pair. So we have gone through the try catch, some examples we have gone through them. Now we will discuss about the nested try catch block. Okay, just hold on. Okay, someone please respond now. Again, I'm just testing my.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, now you're audible. Okay, okay. I'm using a headphone actually. My volume was down. Okay, okay, now it's fine. Okay, so we will go through nested try catch block. Okay, so nested try catch block is when you have try catch block inside another try. Okay, in another try block, that is nested try catch. So this is the syntax. Okay, so it can be like just you simply need to have a try catch block inside one try block. That is what nested try catch. So you can have any number of blocks inside the try block. Okay, so we have one example here. Let us directly go to the editor. Okay, see, here we have an example of nested try catch. Okay, so it's already mentioned. The blocks are already mentioned so that you don't get confused. This is the outermost try block. Okay, the main try block. This is the main try block, and for this try block, okay, this is the catch block. Okay, we have three different catch blocks outside the main try block. Then inside this main try block, we have this part. Okay, this try, this catch, and inside this try again we have the third try block. Okay, this try and this catch. Okay, so as you know that try catch always appears in pair. So for this try we have this catch, for this try we have this catch. Okay, and for this try we have three separate catches. Okay, now let's go through the example. Let's first check the answer to this, then I will explain. Okay, now you see, we have a message here which displays array index out of bound exception handled in the main try block. Okay, now first let us go through the example once. See, this is the main try block. You come inside, then you come inside the second try block, then you come inside the third try block. Inside the third try block, we have this array declaration and initialization. Yes, so we have four elements in the array, and then what we are trying to do is we are trying to access the 10th element of the array which does not exist. So if it does not exist, the code should throw an exception. That is what has been written. Yes, so this code should throw an exception. Now as I said, the try catch always appears in pair. So if this is the try block, then this is the catch block for it. Now we will check if we have any catch handler, you know in this block. So see, this particular catch block. Okay, so if this is the try block 3, this is the catch block 3. Now this catch block is not handling this exception because this is an arithmetic exception. And what message did we get? array index out of bound exception, right? So this catch for this try is not handling this exception. Okay, then you come out of this block, you come out of this try catch. Okay, now you come out of it. So we have the second block. Now we are in the second block. Now we'll go to the second catch. So we will start see, we just understand the sequence in which we will enter inside and we will come out of it. Okay, so this is the outermost, then you get inside. Okay, execute the block. If any exception is found, we will first go to the that particular pair. We will simply check that catch which belongs to the pair. So for this try we have this catch, but this catch is not handling any exception, so we will not, this will be skipped. Then we come to the outer, we come out of it. We are now in the second try catch block. So we will check this catch now. Again, as you can see, this is an arithmetic exception. Okay, this is an arithmetic, this is an arithmetic exception object, so this will not again handle this exception. So again you come out of it. Now once you come out of it, for the main try block we have three catch blocks. If you can see, we have three catch blocks. Okay, so first we'll start with it. Of course, this again is not handling the exception. Then we come to the next. So see, array index out of bound exception. So this is that exception. Okay, this is that particular catch handler which will be handling this exception. Okay, that we will, that that has been detected here. So accordingly, this this is the required, this is the required catch block that we were looking for. Okay, so when this exception, when the exception will be detected in this try block, in the innermost try block, it is this outermost catch block which will come into play. Okay, and what do we have inside? We have two messages: array index out of bound exception handled in main try block. So that is what we got here. Have you understood the program? It does not necessarily mean that if you have any exception in the try block, the catch belonging to that pair has to mandatorily accept handle the exception. No. Okay, it can be handled by any catch handler. Okay, I hope this example is clear. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, we will go to another example here. You see, this is another example of nested try catch block. Okay, but here the sequence is somewhat different. See, this is the parent try block. Okay, and for this parent we have three catches. Okay, then inside this parent try block we have two separate try blocks. In the former, what did we have? We had one try catch inside the first try. Then inside this try, we had try block inside. We had the try catch inside this try and this try catch inside the main try. But here, inside the first, inside the first try block, we have two separate try catch pairs. Okay, so this is one pair and this is the other pair. Okay, just look at the ways we can write. That is what has been demonstrated here. So this is the parent try block, and inside which we have two childs. Okay, we have two childs. This is one child block, block one for the try catch pair, and this is block two for the second try catch pair. Okay, so see, first let us just go through this. What do we have here? We have system.out.println inside block one. Okay, then okay, let us just first go through the output so that it becomes easier for you to understand and for me to explain. Okay, you see, just first see what do we have here inside block 1, then exception E1. Okay, then we have inside block 2 arithmetic exception inside parent try catch block, the next statement. Okay, now let's first concentrate here. So once you get here, this is the first child block that will be executed. Okay, so what do we have here? We have inside block 1. So this is the first statement that was executed. Okay, that got displayed here, right, inside block 1. Next, what do we have? You see, we have uh, an integer number 45 which is divided by 0, and you know that any number divided by 0 is always undefined. Yes, so what do we have here? System.out.println, we have to display the value of b here. Okay, now since this is an exception, right? This is an exception. So who will handle this exception first? For this try, we will always look for the correspond we will always look in the pair. Okay, so for this try we have this catch, so first we'll look at this. Of course this is an arithmetic exception, and this arithmetic exception is handled by this catch only directly, right? So arithmetic exception E1, so whatever exception will be found here will be thrown to this. This is the object E1. Okay, and accordingly this message, it's simply a message that will be displayed. Okay, so after inside block 1, the message to be displayed is exception E1, so that is what has been displayed here, exception E1. Okay, now followed by this we have the second child try block. Okay, now in this try block what do we have? We are inside block 2. Okay, so that is the third statement that has been displayed here inside block 2. Again we are dividing 45 by 0. Again we get an exception here, right? We again get an exception here, and this exception needs actually first has to be handled by the immediate catch belonging to that pair. But what do we have in this catch? It is an array index out of bound exception class. Okay, so this catch handler in this pair will not accept handle this exception, so it is not responsible for handling this exception of inside of block 2. So what we do is we will come out of it. Okay, we will directly come out of it, and we will look for the desired catch block, which is this, right? Which is this. So you come out of it, you have this part now, arithmetic exception E3. Okay, so this is that catch handler which will be doing its job. So what do we have? Arithmetic exception and inside parent try catch block. So that if you can see the output, that is what has been given here, right? So for this try we have the immediate pair, we have the catch of the pair. But for this try, this catch is not handling it. We come out of it. Okay, we come out of the parent try block for we look at the pairs. Okay, the catches of the parent try block. So we have the first catch handling this exception. So these are the two messages that will be displayed accordingly. Okay, and yeah, and finally what do we have after after these messages are displayed? Finally we have simply an output statement which gives us next statement. So this is the statement that will be executed at the end. Understood? Just go to the program once if any doubt. These are the two demos actually of you know of writing nested try catches. You simply have to remember that inside a try block you should have a try catch block. That is what nested you know try catch block is. Okay, clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So the examples have been given here already for you. The explanation is also in here. Okay, okay. Next we come to the finally keyword. The finally keyword. Now see, what is the purpose of finally? See, if you have, see the try, we have gone through the try and the catch for the time being, right? Try is that block which will handle, which is used for detecting exceptions. So any code of, any block of code that you want to test for exceptions, you have to place it inside the try block. Then for the try block, we need to have, if an exception is found, that needs to be handled by a catch block. Okay, so the catch, there should be a catch handler for every try block. Okay, so that is the purpose of the catch block. Now we come to the finally keyword. So what is finally? Irrespective of whether or not there are any exceptions in the try block. Okay, if you have certain crucial statements that has to be executed at any cost. Okay, so if in your program, if in your application you have certain crucial statements that has to be executed at any cost, irrespective of whether or not there are any exceptions. Okay, those statements must be included in the finally keyword. Okay, those statements must be included in the finally block. Okay, so that is what finally is. So irrespective of any exception in your program, anything that is written inside finally will be executed. Okay, so see here, uh, Even finally all comes with try block. Okay, finally is another keyword which comes with the try word, the try keyword. Okay, so see, this is a small example. I might have edited it here. Is it the same program? No. Okay, this program is not in there, so I will explain it here itself. See, we have a main class inside which we have a main function. Then we have a try, catch, and finally block. Okay, let me separate them. Okay. See, we have the try, we have the catch, and we have the finally. Okay. So what do we have here? Again, this is one area out of bound, out of index exception, right? Now exception will be handled accordingly. Okay. So any exception detected here will be handled by this catch handler here. Okay. And then the finally whatever we have, we come to the finally block, and whatever we have here will be displayed. Okay, so if you can see the output for it, we have these two statements that are being displayed in the output, right? So irrespective, so here we had an exception, still the finally block got displayed. Even if you don't have an exception, still the finally block will get displayed. That means I want this statement to be to be displayed at any cost. Okay, so I have placed it inside the finally block. Fine. Let us look at some other examples here. Okay. Okay, so see, this is another example. Here we have divided a number by 0. Okay, and then we are trying to print that number. But once this number is divided by 0, an exception is immediately detected. Okay, and then the exception needs to be handled now. So we come to the immediate catch block. Okay, so here we have a statement that will be displayed. Number should not be divided by 0. So this is that statement that will be displayed immediately. After that, we have the finally block. So what do we have here? This is finally block. Okay, so this will be displayed. And finally, this is the this statement is outside any block. Okay, so this is the last statement that will be displayed. So let's just check it. Finally, one thing I want to tell you here is, wait, if you can see, these are the three statements. We have three println, right? We have three display statements here. Number should not be divided by 0. This is finally block, and this is out of try catch block. Now one thing that you might ask me is that, ma'am, the last statement that we have here, this statement is anyhow going to display. Then why should we, like, if we have, see, just try to understand, just try to do a comparison between these two. This is the last statement in the program. Okay, so once everything is displayed, this is the last statement that will be displayed at any cost. Okay, then why can't we just leave this statement, this is finally block, this statement outside the finally block? What is the difference between these two? Have you understood my question, what that I have asked? मैंने बोला कि this is the last statement, right? So once you are outside the try catch block, this last system.out.println statement is anyways going to get displayed. Then why should we use the finally keyword to display this message? What if we don't, what if we don't include this statement inside this finally block and we just leave it like that? This also will get displayed. But one thing that I would like to show you is that if you don't include the finally, for example, in this example that we have seen, the second nested if else nested try catch block example that we have seen, you saw here that for this try we had this catch, but for this try this is not the catch handler, right? And up, just outside this try catch, what do we have? We have a simple system.out.println statement. This should have been executed, but this did not get displayed on the output screen. Okay, so when, if there's a skip, if there's a jump, okay, if there's a jump between different catch blocks or between different try catch blocks, then there are chances that these simple printed in statements gets skipped. These statements will get skipped. But Had you entered this, had you added this statement inside the finally block, then this would have been executed. Understood my understood what I'm saying? This is one statement. This is another system.out.println statement which is outside any try catch block or finally block, right? So these two statements should get executed at any cost. But in this example, what did we say? That this was the last statement to get executed, but this statement did not get executed because for this try we had to find the corresponding catch handler. Because this is not the corresponding catch handler, so we had to jump and we had to find the catch handler for it. So in the jumping process, this line got skipped. But if I want this statement to get executed at any cost, okay, then I'll have to add this in the finally block. So that is what is done here. Okay, so this statement is not crucial. Even if we skip this statement, it is fine. But I want this statement to be executed. So that is why I've placed it inside the finally block. Okay, but anyways, this statement is going to be executed because it's the last statement in the program. Okay, so that is what the purpose of finally block is. You place all the important statements, whichever seems important to you, inside the finally block, and they are going to get executed at any cost. Now we have the fine next example here. Okay, see the finally block, even if even if our try block, okay, even if our try block returns any value, even then the finally block will work. Okay, so this is one another example that I would like to discuss. But before that, let us just go through a few points here, few important points that you have to remember regarding finally block. Hmm. See, first is a finary block must be associated with a try block. You cannot use finally without a try block. So this is very much like the catch block, which appears in pair with the try. You should place those statements in this block that must be executed always. Yes, this is understood by now. Next is finally block is optional, as we have seen in previous. Okay, this need not be. Wait, huh? Okay, it took beside you. Okay, finally block is optional. However, if you place a finally block, then it will always run after the execution of the try block. Yes. Next is in normal case when there is no exception in try block, then the finally block is executed after the try block. However, if an exception occurs, then the catch block is executed before the try block. Okay, so try, if you have try, catch, and finally, okay, in case of any exception, the sequence will be try, catch, and finally. But in absence of an exception, the catch will be skipped and the finally will be displayed. So at any cost, the finally is displayed always. Next, we have an exception in the finally block behaves exactly like any other exception. Okay. Next, the statements present in the finally block execute even if the try block contains controls transfer statements like return, break, or continue. So, so we haven't seen any return statement. We have not returned any values yet from the try block. But even if you return some values, okay, even if you return some values from your try block, okay, even then, or you have some break statement or you have some continuous statements in your try block, even under such conditions, the finally block will get executed. So we will just look at this, okay, for the time being, returning a value from the try block. Look at here. Okay. See, we have only one class inside which we have two methods. One is the main method and one is the my method. Okay. The my method is a static method. Okay. It has the class scope. It has a class scope. And that is why I'm saying this because, see, inside the main method, what are we doing? We are simply trying to display something. What are we trying to display? We're actually doing a function method call here. We are doing a method call here, right? And which method are we calling? My method. And because my method has got class scope, that is why we have mentioned the class name. Yes, class name dot the method name. I hope you still remember this about the static. the concepts about the static keyword. So this is the main method inside which we are trying to display the details which are inside the my method. So that is why we have called the my method. And because my method is a static method, so we have added the class name before. Okay. So once this will be, so this is a method. So accordingly, this method will be invoked. Okay. This is a function call. So this method will be invoked. Now, once this method is invoked, what do we have here? You see, we don't have any catch here. We simply have a try and finally block. Okay. So in try, what do we have? We have the value 112. We are returning the value actually. We have a return statement to return a value 112. Okay. So immediately when the try block will be executed, this value will be returned to the calling program. Okay, this value will be returned to the calling method. That is the main method. But at the same time, the control will not directly go there, because what did we read here, that irrespective of any return, continue or break statement, the finally block will execute always. So though I have returned 112 back to the calling program, this will not get displayed first. Okay, we are still inside the my method because we have the finally block here. So whatever is there inside the finally block, these two statements we have, this will get displayed first. Okay, this is finally block. Finally block can even run, finally block ran even after return statement. So these are the two statements that will be executed first, though the value has been returned, but this will not display, this will not get displayed. These are the two statements that will get displayed. After that, you go back to the calling program, and then this value that we had returned will be displayed at the end. Okay, if you run it and check. See here, so at the very beginning we returned the value, but however this value was displayed at the end, because though we returned the value, but the control has not been transferred to the calling program yet, because we still have the finally block which we have to display. Okay, so whatever statements are there will be get, they will get displayed first, and then finally once we get back to the main program, then this value will get displayed at the end. Have you understood the working of finally along with try catch?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear? Okay. So lastly, we have just the throw keyword. Okay. See, cases when the finally block doesn't execute. Okay, so we have seen the cases when finally block gets executed. Now there are three cases when finally block will not get executed. One is the death of a thread. So we haven't started with threading. So that is in the fourth module. This is the next topic that we will be doing. Okay, in the fourth module. Then using of the system.exit method. Okay, so along with this method, so if you use this method exit, so exit leads to termination of the entire program. So if you use this, then finally block will not execute. And then finally, due to an exception arising in the finally block. Okay, so if there's any exception in the finally block, then the finally block will not get executed. So these are the three conditions under which finally block will not execute. Okay. Okay. Uh, wait. See how for yesterday's class, by mistake, I uploaded some other video of some other batch because there was no internet in the university. So by mistake, the uploading was the I uploaded your video successfully, but while sharing the link, because there was poor internet connection, so some have something wrong went, you know, and I had I have shared a different link and I could not edit it later. So for yesterday's class, the video has already been uploaded. Okay, You have the entire playlist link with you, I guess. I had shared it with Hashim much earlier. So Hashim, just share the entire playlist link with the students so that they can get access to all the videos, okay, in YouTube. Okay, I was just looking at something. Okay, so we are left with only one keyword, throw. Okay, that we will do in the next class tomorrow. Okay, the meeting will end now. So, do you have any doubts from today's class? Any doubt?
Ma'am, यार later use that ma'am, later method to.
Hello? Any doubts?
Ma'am, like nested method. Ma'am, can you
Yeah.
use later here, ma'am? Later.
Uh-huh. I mean, Kune Kosa, you're not audible properly. Ako ba question?
Ma'am, more